If you're a little bit competitive like I am, you're probably always on the lookout for ways to stand out and really beat your competition. So, in today's episode, I wanted to go over what I think makes a really amazing LinkedIn B2B marketer. G'day everyone, it's Coach Michelle J. Raymond, and I am still out and about traveling the world on my page advocacy tour, which I can't wait until I actually get back and can share everything that I've seen and learned and discovered on that adventure. While I was doing my research for my presentation, I came across a report called the LinkedIn B2B Benchmark Report 2024. And so it's been out for almost a year, but one of the slides within that really caught my attention. And it was the 9 essential characteristics that B2B marketing leaders of the future must be. And that's a pretty big statement. So get ready for this. I'm going to read these ones out. So you must be a strategic thinker, a technology trailblazer, a creative vanguard, a content strategist, data interpreters, continual learners, collaborative communicators, visionary chief marketing officers, and DEI champions. As we get to the end of that list, I'm exhausted. So I'm not sure how you're going with all of those 9 things combined with, oh, by the way, you have to be an expert across every social media platform, internal communications, blogging, websites, all the new AI technology that's come out, including generative AI. Have you got all of that sorted yet, marketers? Because I'm thinking, yeah, sounds wonderful. And in your dream life, if you weren't pulled from meeting to meeting or a team of 1 doing the work of 5, then maybe you could set out and tick off all of those 9 essential characteristics. And I have to say, when I read it, I was a bit triggered. I was like, if I was one of those and really good at it, I think that would be great. But really, when it comes to being a standout LinkedIn B2B marketer, I don't think it really needs to be that complicated. But I think there are some things that if you do them well, you'll see the results across the board. So let's dive into those today, right after we've heard a word from our podcast sponsors, Metrical. Last month, we explored Metrical's 2025 social media report. And guess what? March brings us another exclusive Metrical study, this time a deep dive into LinkedIn. And this report, listeners, is like the pot of gold at the end of the LinkedIn rainbow. It will dissect over 47,000 accounts and 570,000 LinkedIn posts to uncover the network's key trends, engagement, growth, and video performance. Now, Metrical's LinkedIn study will be released at the end of the month, so stay tuned for the report link and study findings. This is just a quick reminder that LinkedIn is a premium Metrical feature. So to access all of your account insights, scheduling, and reporting, you can sign up for a premium plan, which starts at just $18 a month. And the good news for you listeners is if you use code Michelle30, you can test any Metrical premium plan for 30 days for free. All the details that you need to do that are in the link in the show notes. Let's start building the ultimate LinkedIn B2B marketer, according to Michelle J. Raymond, that is. If you have different ideas, I would love to hear from you. Reach out and connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know what you think makes an awesome marketer. But I'm going to start with number 1. And number 1 characteristic of these people is they are curious. They are the kinds of people that are always wanting to learn more, but they don't just read things and take them on face value. They question them. They test things. Is this going to work for my business? Is it not? You'll learn from others, but then adapt it for yourself. You're not afraid to try something out and see if it will actually work. You're someone that will take a little bit of this and a little bit of that from someone else and come up with your own way of doing things. And it's not to say that you're not aware of trends, because you've very much always got a finger on the pulse, but it doesn't mean you just blindly follow them. You see, when you're curious, you'll discover the path that works best for you, that works best for your business based on your goals and resources. There is no one size fits all when it comes to LinkedIn, no matter what anyone else out there will say. One of the things that happens when it comes to all social media and not just LinkedIn is everybody's an expert. And if you take things at face value and don't test these things out yourself, you'll become just like the crowd. And if you stay curious and find a different way, a new way, maybe a contrarian way, a creative way of doing things, I can always spot when a marketer isn't curious because they use templated approaches. They often look like their competitors. Those that are prepared to try something a little bit different, to give the contrarian views a go, to get creative with their content. These are the ones that I know have a level of curiosity to try and figure out what works best. So don't be afraid of finding what works best for you. Don't be afraid if you read something and you go, you know what, that's not right for me, keep on scrolling. There is no rule book for LinkedIn. There is finding what works best for you. And I encourage you that if you want to be an awesome LinkedIn marketer, then make sure you stay curious. Second thing that I think makes a really awesome LinkedIn B2B marketer is their ability to stay consistent. Those marketers who can show up week after week, whether they're getting slammed by the algorithm or not, and consistently follow their strategy that they've sat down, you've planned, you're now implementing, and you're checking the analytics to make sure that everything's working. And you're prepared to do the work. You're not looking for shortcuts. You know that this is a long-term view that you need to take. Success on LinkedIn does not come from viral posts. They are wonderful when they happen. They're like the icing on the cake. But if you are planning your whole strategy around hit and miss or hot and cold, i.e., you just show up when your business or brand wants something, then you know what? It just doesn't work on LinkedIn. So for me, number 2 is consistency, and it pays off. The third thing, which I think makes a person a really awesome LinkedIn B2B marketer, is that they are absolutely connection driven. Everything that they do is about building connections. And that's through networking, that's through community building, that's through engaging with other people's content. And you can do that as a page or you can do that as an individual. Either way works, but ultimately, you are always looking for ways that you can nurture those relationships, that you can find ways to be of service and of value to other people. I think this one is probably hardest for marketers to wrap their head around because I think in some ways, building connections is often being seen as the job of the sales team. Like it's their job to go and build relationships, not marketers. We just do our job to generate that interest. And I think, yes, maybe that's true historically. But when it comes to social selling, it's definitely a team sport. B2B marketers that are connection driven know the power of creating content that sparks conversations. If you can get your audience to engage with your content, this is exactly how you start to build communities. And communities are really powerful. People online are looking for places to hang out with like-minded people. Yes, it's hard. Yes, especially when you're a brand, it's not something that's going to happen quickly or easily. But when you get it right, it is so powerful. So think about, is the content that you're creating there to distance yourself from your audience or bring them in closer? Now, one of the simple ways that I can explain how this works, if you write a LinkedIn post that starts and finishes with sentences all about you and talks about the brand, the brand, the brand, or if it's your personal content, just yourself, and there is no question anywhere throughout that post where you're inviting people to come and comment or leave their opinions. And if you do that, it's a surefire sign that your post is all about you, that you are there to try and promote yourself, that your focus is on yourself and it is not on your audience. A simple fix to this is just ask them a question. Show them that you're interested. Spark that conversation. Build your community. This is what will set you apart from those that are just broadcasting. Broadcasting at people is old school LinkedIn. The modern B2B marketers on LinkedIn that want success in 2025 are those that are bringing others into the conversation. So as you think about those 3 C's, I want you to think, is there an area that maybe you've dropped the ball a little bit that you could build up your focus? For some of you, it might be consistency. Maybe LinkedIn's hot and cold because you haven't set time aside in your calendar. For others, it's time for you to back yourself and get curious and figure out what else could you try? How else could you have a go and do something different on LinkedIn so your brand's not easily confused with your competitors? And for some of you, especially B2B marketers, when it comes to connection driven, I think you have to come out from behind the scenes. Marketers are really great at hiding behind the scenes and putting the spotlight on everybody else but themselves. And the best marketers that I know come out into the spotlight, are comfortable there. It doesn't mean you don't put the spotlight on others, but it's okay for us to see your brilliance as well. So I hope that that has inspired some of you out there that are looking for a competitive edge. I don't think you need to worry about 9 essential characteristics of a B2B marketer. I think if you stick to curiosity, consistency, and being connection driven, you're onto a winning formula. So until next episode, cheers.